Right back to this breaking news that we've been following out of Minneapolis, where a building has collapsed due to a possible natural gas explosion, and there has been at least one fatality. This is the Minnehaha Academy. It is a Christian academy from kindergarten through to 12th grade. We are hearing from the Minneapolis Fire Department that there is at least one person trapped beneath the rubble. You can see the smoke there, and crews are on the scene. We're going to continue to follow the coverage here. We're going to toss to our local CBS affiliate, WCCO, and hear their coverage.
Well, we're at 31st and West River Parkway. The lower campus is actually down at around 42nd, so it's a number of blocks south of here. We're at about 31st and West River Parkway, between West River Parkway and 46th Avenue. We're on the very west side. You can see the soccer field on the west side of the building, and the explosion happened directly across from me, where you see the concentration of police officers, firefighters, still pouring water onto the very hot part of this building. But again, a whole center part of that building has come down on top of whoever was inside. So we're being asked to leave at this point. So we're going to throw it back to you, Jason.
Bill, I just
want to check in with you. I want to
interrupt you for a second, because Minneapolis Fire has just tweeted that the fatality is now not confirmed. Which
They're
would
changing
be
their story now.
Which would be the best change of story they could come up with. Believe me, everybody would be happy to hear that. No question about it. Certainly, so many parents concerned right now about their children.
It would be amazing. It would be absolutely miraculous if nobody perished in this building collapse. It's absolutely nothing left of that center part.
So we caution, as always, as stories develop and a breaking story develops. We're only about 35 minutes into our coverage and our knowledge of this building explosion. Minneapolis Fire now saying the fatality not confirmed, and let's hope that is the final story of what we learn about this explosion.
We have heard reports from witnesses, though, that people have been taken out on stretchers from this area. We do know that there was construction going on in this area. We also heard from a woman that she says that this is the part of the building where the STEM lab and the campus room are included in this area that you see right here, that is now collapsed on your screen from that live Sky 4 area. We talked to a student at the school who just graduated, Stephen Johnson. He played soccer. He was actually at captain's practice earlier this morning, and he heard the explosion happen. He said he saw people leaving the building. He heard that people were asked to evacuate this area.
Just that urgency, the yelling, gas, get out.
Within 15 seconds, this is when the explosion happened. The good news is that most of the summer programs have been going on, not at the upper school, but at the lower school, and those go through August 11th. So right now, at least according to people we've spoken with, that students might not have been in this building, but we have heard that possibly teachers, administrators in this building, and then of course construction workers who are working in this area.
New information coming in from our reporter Reg Chapman, who is in the field. He also spoke with a soccer player, and this soccer player told Reg that they were knocked off their feet, which is no surprise as you look at this live picture from Sky 4, looking at a large chunk front to back of Minnehaha Academy that is currently smoldering. Reg said that they also spoke with someone who saw people with a gas company crew, and that crew was on the scene before the explosion. So this is video. This is not the current helicopter picture, but this gives you a sense of the flames that were on the scene as part of this explosion. Certainly, if this were a STEM science lab in that part of the building, you wonder what sort of combustibles there might have been. Bunsen burners, all of that kind of stuff you'd have in a high school
anything that you would have in a lab.
For sure. Obviously, huge emergency response from Minneapolis Fire, as they not only trying to put out the fire, but also trying to rescue anyone who may have been trapped. And just, you think logistically, Allie, about trying to account for all of the young people that would be in a building during the summer.
Especially now, we're turning the page to August. A lot of students are preparing for fall sports. Football season is starting up, soccer season is starting up, so there are a lot of students coming to this area of the school getting ready for that. Whether or not that it's an organized or it's just a captain's practice like we were talking to with Stephen Johnson earlier this morning. Now, we did get a call about this right at around 10:30. So 40 minutes later, we are expecting a media briefing in about 10 minutes to update us on more information. Minneapolis Fire put out about 15 minutes ago that there was a fatality. Now they've retracted that, which could be really great news when you think about how many people could have been in this part of the building and what type of work they were doing, how many construction workers were there, if there were gas workers there, how many people are possibly trapped. We've heard that people have been taken off in stretchers, so we're just waiting to find out if the people in this area have all been accounted for.
This is the upper campus, so that would be essentially a high school. Minnehaha Academy, a private school in Minneapolis right along the river. If you're just joining us, we are in the middle of breaking news coverage here on WCCO. An apparent gas explosion at Minnehaha Academy. At this point, we do not know the extent of injuries, but we do know there are injuries. There are people who have been taken to the hospital, who have been taken from the scene of this explosion on stretchers. You may have heard or seen online an initial report from Minneapolis Fire of one person dying in this building collapse. The fire department has walked that back. And as far as a change of story goes, this is
so we have been watching coverage of this, what was being reported as a possible gas explosion at an academy, a school in Minneapolis, the Minnehaha Academy. That's coverage right there from WCCO, our local affiliate in Minneapolis. And what you just heard the anchor say is that initially there were reports of at least one fatality. The fire department is walking that information back, which is at least some good news. At this point, they don't have any confirmation of any fatalities. Earlier, we had also reported there's a possibility of someone being trapped in that rubble. Still waiting to find out whether that is the case or not. The expectation is that in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so, there will be a press conference to hopefully confirm some of that information. But what we do know is that it appears as if in this building, though there are children on this campus, the summer program for this academy was taking place in another building. So most of the children should not have been in this structure. However, there's a good chance that there were teachers, administrative staff, and construction workers working in the area where the building collapsed. Reports of a possible gas leak as well in the area. So that is what we are covering, hovering just above this school. We're going to bring you the very latest, hopefully once officials come forward with a press conference and we can get some confirmation, we'll bring that information to you as well. So this is a collapse and possible fire at an academy in Minneapolis, the Minnehaha Academy. You're watching CBSN. We are always on.